Welcome back to the O Hockey Show, you amazing people. Now today, we've got a special occasion, and that is that the NHL season, I know it kind of already started, but today it is truly coming to a start with the New York Rangers in Tampa Bay at 4:30 my time, and LA Kings versus the Golden Knights at 7 later, which is kind of crazy to me because 7 later is kind of... Anyways, here we go. The season's finally here, and I gotta tell you, I've been running out of ideas. I don't know if people are actually watching me consistently, but if you are, I gotta tell you, I've been running out of ideas. I don't know what to talk about, so I'm so thankful that it's finally here. So let's jump into talking about a little bit of a preview. Now, I'm not gonna preview every single game of the season, but I just had, because the games are coming to a start this year, and it's only 2 games, I can talk about it. So let's start off with Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay, to me, looking at their current roster, I would say over the last 4 or 5 years, because the season the Capitals won the Stanley Cup, they made it to the conference finals. Then the year after, that's when they won the President's Trophy, and then they got swept. And then they went on to win the 2 back-to-back, and then this year. So I guess 5 years. I would say going into this season, this has got to, in my mind, probably the weakest one I've seen yet. And it's not really because they've downgraded a lot. It's just... the Tampa Bay's, their whole thing has been that they're able to replenish their lineup, right? They're so good at replenishing. Well, I think the year where they had Barclay Goodrow and Blake Coleman was probably their best year. Now this season, they've brought in Nick Paul. So, to me, my question for them is, do they still have it? Do they still have it in them to win? They lost Andre Palat this offseason, and they lose the guy I just said, but... whatever. So, my question for Tampa Bay going into this year is, do they still have what it takes? And I think going up against the team that they had to play in the conference finals to get them into that 3rd straight Stanley Cup finals against the New York Rangers, I think is a good test to see, do they still have it? All the big guys, big hitters are still there, and they're bringing in a guy, his name's like Koeke, something like that. I don't know how to say it. He was, I think, probably from the KHL, or maybe not. To be honest, I really don't know. I just saw his name, I was like, huh, sounds like a cool name for a guy. So, the Tampa Bay this year, I would say, is probably the weakest one that I've seen in a while. So, this is a good test to see if they can still have it against the New York Rangers. Now, the Rangers, to me, this year, here's a couple questions going into it, is the young guys, Kaapo Kakko and Lafreniere. Where do they finally, Kaapo Kakko especially, does he finally develop into that, I don't know if power forward's the right word, but kind of that, solid, he kind of plays like a power forward with the Finnish highlights that I saw of his. So, does Kaapo Kakko finally take a step in the right direction? Not fully. I think for him, he's going to have to be gradual, but does he get at least to 40 points this year? Does he get to 30 to 40 points this season? I think that'd be nice, especially because, I'll get to especially why in a second, but Alexis Lafreniere. Lafreniere, he got 36 points last year, so not that bad for his first real season, but, of course, Lafreniere, he's supposed to be that superstar next Crosby-level guy, and kind of, once again, not living up to it. I said, and I've said in a lot of my videos now, Tim Stützle would have been the guy I would have picked, in that draft between him and Byfield and Lafreniere. So, you can even ask my teammates that. I said it all the time. So, I truly think that even Byfield's kind of more special than him, even though he's got no point. But I'll get to that. Anyways, Lafreniere, does he take that extra step further as well? Because a team like the Rangers, with the amount of talent that they should have on this team, they should be the next dynasty in the making. It's just they're not breaking through with those young guys taking over that huge mantle. So, kind of interesting. Then they move out guys like Buchnevich, and then he's a flourishing superstar in St. Louis. So, New York, those young guys, they're just not performing, and the young guys that they chose over another young guy is the one flourishing somewhere else. So, yeah, there's that. Then we got Chris Kreider. Now, for me, Kreider, he had 77 points last year. He had 52 goals, and especially those power play goals. To me, Kreider, he's not one of those type of guys. He just had a career season last year. Every good hockey NHL player has their just really good year, and last year was Chris Kreider's. So for me, I think he's going to I don't want to say fall off a cliff. He's not going to do that. But if he goes back to like 50 points this year, if he goes back down to 50 points, maybe he's like in the 35 goal region. I think if Lafreniere can pick up the pace, or Capo Caco replace those points, that would be nice. And then also we got Vincent Trocheck being brought onto the team. So how is he going to do on this team? I think they needed a strong second line centerman. I think they have one now. And Igor Shesterkin, the guy, the superstar goaltender last year. My question is, once again, I always take one good season with a grain of salt. And for me, his one good season was great. Unbelievable, great year. But can he keep it up with this team? And especially as the Rangers as a whole. Because goaltending really does depend on how good the team in front of you is. So can the Rangers consistently play well? Because last season was their first real finally breaking into that superstar team. The year before that, it was kind of like, But this year is finally their year to... Last year was finally the year to shine. Can they continue that process? So between the two teams, I think it's going to be the Rangers. I think the Rangers are going to pull out the win here. Between Tampa Bay and the Rangers, to me, I like Tampa Bay. I have a jersey in this closet right here. I was going to set it up, but it kept falling down, and I didn't want to take it anymore. So I hate New York. I gotta be honest with you. I freaking hate the New York Rangers. But between them and just giving my actual opinion, I gotta say I think Tampa Bay's gonna lose this one, and the Rangers are gonna take this one away. So Rangers, I'm gonna say, win their first game of the season. Now let's move out way west to the other. Isn't that funny? Way to the other side of the country. LA against the Golden Knights. So the Golden Knights. The biggest thing for them is that they're finally going to have Eichel and Stone to start the season. So they finally have all that together. And looking at their lineup, it's kind of crazy to look at it, because being someone who, I would say the year the Golden Knights were brought into the NHL was the year where I was finally, fully invested into hockey. I was finally paying attention. So for me, my memories of paying attention is that the William Karlsson and Marchessault and Smith are still good. So when you take a look at their lines, it's like, wow, they got Marchessault and Karlsson all the way on the third line. This team's stacked. But then you look at the numbers, and it's like, man, I don't know. But... because now Stone is even potentially on the second line there. But anyways, so they have Stone and Eichel finally on this team. Was last year a fluke? And that's the question for these two teams, is that last year, was those years a fluke for them? The Kings making it to the playoffs. The Golden Knights miss it. The Golden Knights, do they miss it because they had injuries? And do the LA Kings just luck out into a playoff spot? So this is going to be a year for those two teams to really prove themselves, say last year was a fluke or not a fluke. And it's kind of interesting. I said it yesterday in my video that I really like what the NHL did here with these two matchups. I think these are the two perfect things. The conference finals from the East, and also two teams that had potentially fluke seasons last year. So the Golden Knights, they have Stone and Eichel. Their two top main pieces on offense are going to be in the lineup, and fingers crossed for them. Not for me. I hate the Golden Knights as well. But finger crossed for them that they do get to play the whole season and they get back into the playoffs. But the bigger question is, Logan Thompson is on the team. Well, he's getting the starting role. So for Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill in the net is really interesting, because those two guys, obviously Robin Lehner injured. Not injured. He had to get surgery. I don't know why he waited till now to get it. I don't understand the medical thing, so what do I know? But it's kind of strange to me that he would wait all the way till now to finally get the surgery, but that's whatever. But Logan Thompson is going to be filling in the net. He had an amazing, 10 games last season he started. But that happens every year, including with his backup in Aiden Hill. With the Coyotes, he was brought up because they needed him because of injuries, and in 10 games he had 4 shutouts or something. So maybe fingers crossed, can these guys come up and stay? He showed in a small sample size that he was amazing. Can he keep it up? And the thing about Aiden Hill, his backup is that was kind of a lesson. It's well, maybe it's not. Is this a Binnington scenario, or is it an Aiden Hill scenario? It's kind of interesting to see what's going to happen here. For me personally, I don't think Thompson's going to be that 4 shutouts in 10 games or whatever. type goaltender. I think he's going to be just kind of. I think he will be good. I think he'll be good enough to hold his team in contention as long as the Golden Knights play good in front of him. I don't think he'll be stealing them any games. Of course, some goalies, like every player, has their night to shine. But I don't think he will be like stealing games. I think he'll just kind of be like, if Vasilevsky's an A+, then I would say he's probably just going to be like a solid B goaltender. Maybe I would say B goaltender consistently with an A. Yeah, just an A on a good night. So that's how I will put Logan Thompson. Adin Hill is also a good backup behind there because I think he's also another goaltender that if his team is good in front of him, that he can win them some games. So I think they have a good tandem there, which might teach them that they don't need Robin Lehner in net, but that's another scenario. Also, Phil Kessel is in the lineup. Last season with the Coyotes, he had 52 points with the Coyotes. He had 48 assists. So, and he didn't have very good goals. So, how will Phil Kessel play with a team that actually can score goals and help him score goals? I wouldn't be. I mean, 52 points last year with the Coyotes. Can Phil Kessel get all the way up? Who knows? Maybe in Vegas. However, on the other hand, could slow him down with the antics that could happen in Vegas. But just with a better team that can actually play for him, I wouldn't be surprised if he could get to 70 points. And I would not be surprised if he can get to 70 points with the team that plays around him, unless he takes a huge dive off a cliff. And also the Vegas life. I mean, we know he doesn't hold back when it comes to the way he wants to live. So maybe Vegas could get to him. But also a question is for me about Vegas is the OGs on the team. Like I was saying, Marchessault, Smith, and Carlson. Where do the guys still fit in the lineup? I mean, Carlson's being paid $5 million. Smith is $4 million. And Marchessault is 6? 5? Something like that. One of those, like, middle numbers there. What happens to those guys? I mean, I don't even know. So it's kind of a question to see how their seasons go. But for the LA Kings, I got a couple questions. First off, are they serious? Is this team seriously a contender still? Did they make the playoffs on fluke, on accident, just sometimes you win more games than you should? Or are they going to be put in their place with all these young guys and some guys, especially their defense? Their defense is bad. And their goaltending, of course, Jonathan Quick and Campbell isn't really that, not Campbell, and Peterson isn't that bad. But, I mean, Quick is coming to the end of his career, and Peterson is a good goaltender, but I wouldn't say he's a goaltender that's going to he's not amazing. So are the Kings serious? I mean, they bring in Kevin Fiala with 85 points last year on the Minnesota Wild. How will he play? Quentin Byfield, is he finally going to take that step as well? Anze Kopitar, Drew Doughty, are these older guys going to finally start falling off? I mean, I already said I don't think Kopitar is any good anyway. So there are a few questions for the LA Kings, but between them, I think, you know what? I think that the LA Kings are going to win. Mainly because at the beginning of the season, there's no way New York beats Tampa Bay being the better team and Golden Knights beat LA being the better team. I think LA is going to win this one, and I think my prediction for the score is I think New York is going to win 4-3, and I think the Golden Knights are going to win 4-1. They're going to have a 4-goal game for each team. So that's my predictions here tonight. Just a little bit of a preview because why not? What the hell? And that's all I have to say about it. So if you like this video, please pick up your free subscription by hitting that red subscribe button. If you like this video, leave a like, not a dislike, but go down below to the comment section and tell me how stupid I am. Tell me, how stupid am I? Look at this stupid hair. Look at my stupid board. Tell me how stupid I am down below. Tell me all that. And until next time, I've been your not so dapperly dressed host, Owen. Too sweet. I hope you're having an amazing day because you deserve it. And ta-ta for now.